Do you like my plant? I love my new plant. I'm very excited about this new plant. I'm going to do my video with my plant right here. Hello everybody, my name is Sarah K. Regli and welcome to today's episode of Sarah K. Connects. I know, will men listen to a woman about how to love a woman? So today we're going to be helping the gentlemen who consider themselves to be not funny, not cool, not charming. For some men, they just don't have it. They're just not funny and they're just not charming and they don't give off an aura of cool. Some men try to learn it. Some men try to fake it, but no matter what, those three things are just like this shallow layer of an onion that peels off after like 2 seconds. It disappears very quickly. And wow, that might be the first thing that some girls, that women notice. It has a very shallow appeal. So if you want a long-term relationship, the good news is those things really don't matter that much. So let me show you the things that you can do in order to help start off a relationship and how to maintain a relationship so you get noticed for the long term. There's a very wide range of attractive attributes. Hear ye. They are attentive, good listeners, helpful, consistent, encouraging, compassionate, loyal, humble, ambitious. They take care of their own. Well-kept, take care of themselves physically, know their limits, know how to create boundaries, honest. They do what they say they're going to do. Is a man of vision, knows how to communicate to both the elderly and children, patient, stable, independent, seeks advice when they don't know what to do, selfless, a giver, thoughtful, creative, hardworking, respectful, and can keep his temper. So if you want to attract a woman who is very high quality, work on those things. Number one, if you are the kind of guy, and not all men are like this, who struggle with these things, but if you have a hard time talking to women in general, and you're so distracted by her beauty, you're like, that's what's going on in your brain, just start practicing talking to women who you just meet randomly in your life. Don't have any expectations. Don't be trying to get anything. Don't only talk to like the girls you think are cute. Just try to talk to everybody. Have you ever tried this cinnamon bread? It looks really good. Oh, what is in a nice day today? Talk to old, talk to young. That way when you are in a position where you would genuinely like to get to know this woman in front of you, you're not like, oh, I don't know how to do this, because you've been doing it. You do this in your life. Tip number 2 is ask the woman out who other people don't ask out. Just because all your guy friends think that one girl is like the most beautiful thing ever doesn't necessarily mean that she is. It means she is to some people, but your attractions can be different. And I honestly blame media for this. There's like this imaginary totem pole of like what beauty is, that's who you should be attracted to, that's really subjective to like the time and place you're born, the culture you're born into. And as you get older, you get a little bit more grown. That kind of crumbles apart. And you might find that these other attributes she has are really attractive. Now, I'm not saying Sarah wants me to ask out all the ugly chicks. I just can't date someone I'm not attracted to. I didn't say that. I'm saying get to know women who are outside of this one-dimensional view of beauty. So, number 3, use the information that your date tells you to give you an idea of what would be a next date. Women do this annoying thing where we will give subtle hints. Oh yeah, I love the beach. AKA, if she likes you, she'd like to go to the beach with you. They give subtle hints and they like to see if men are thoughtful enough to incorporate these dates and if they actually have the wherewithal to, 1, find a time and a place using this knowledge they have given them to create a thoughtfully planned out date. And she remembers, like women remember everything. I said I liked Chinese food and then he took me to the greatest Chinese restaurant. We had such a great time. Number 4 is ask questions inquiring about her growth. You want to find the thing that makes her eyes. You want the thing that gets her excited, her face warms up a little bit, gets a little shiny. And those are the things that she wants to grow in. You want to know, like, what are her hopes and dreams? Who does she care about? What is she passionate about? If you value the things that she values and you encourage her to grow in the areas that she wants to grow, she might actually start to just think, hey, I can actually grow this guy because he actually cares about my growth. He doesn't see me as some like living doll that fits his life. Tip number 5. This sounds a little weird at first, but just hang with me. Don't worry about sounding impressive. I have seen this in many different ways. I was on a date one time and he spent like, oh my gosh, like half the date talking about all the things he was going to do. Like, he gave me his 10-year plan. Now, mind you, we were both mad young. Like, we were like 19, so like we hadn't done anything with our lives yet. And at first, I was like, when I was young, I just thought he just talked about himself the whole time. But then as I got older, I realized when you're 19, you don't really have anything to offer anybody. You don't sound impressive because you haven't done anything yet. And that's okay. Like, we all are phase of growth. It's coming from the sense of insecurity. I've come across dudes who will brag about how many other girls want to date him, as if other women wanting him makes him of a better catch and makes him sound more impressive. Or worrying about wearing name brand clothing or having cool cars and stuff. A mature woman can sense that insecurity on you. There's absolutely nothing wrong with talking about your plans or your goals or where you want to grow in life. That's a good thing. You do want to talk about that. You don't want to be like the stagnant dude who's like, and I just work my job and then I watch TV. Having goals is attractive, but don't rely on this imaginary version of yourself who's going to impress this person. Like, you're coming to you as you and your strengths and your weaknesses and your history and where you want to grow and being yourself. And that's who she's gonna be spending time with. Tip number 6 is to ask really poignant questions. Asking what she wants in a relationship. Asking where she would like to be in 5 years. Ask where her dream job is. Poignant questions. Be specific. How do you prefer communication? So often men like to keep you in vague land. Maybe, kind of. We'll see where things go. Oh, this man has like specificity? I'm interested. Number 7, I have to say this because I have to. Do what you say you're gonna do. Now, if you're saying, I'm gonna kill some dude, that's a whole other different subject. Don't kill people. If you say, yeah, let's go to this restaurant. I want to go to this restaurant someday. Take her to the restaurant. Yeah, let's go on that hike. Go on the hike. If you say, yeah, I'm planning on a vacation to go to Guatemala, then plan the vacation. The reason this is so important is because, 1, yes, the classic man of your word, that's important, but it also shows 2 that you value yourself, because that means you value the words coming out of your mouth enough to follow through with that. I believe my words mean something, and that shows that you respect yourself. And that is the other side of the coin of women says, wow, he respects me and he respects himself. Women want to be with someone who love and respect themselves. Okay. Number 8, be helpful. Be practically helpful. I'm sorry, gentlemen. Women do this too, and this is frustrating. They will also leave hints. I know men are bad at picking up hints, but that's why you have me to help you. Women leave hints, and when they want you to help with something, they usually won't ask you specifically to do that, especially if they're not really tight with you. Oh yeah, like I'm going to Lowe's to pick out some paint for my room because it looks so bad right now. If she's bringing this up to you, she's probably checking to see, is this the kind of guy who will help me paint my room or not? Because here, even if you're not really good at painting or putting furniture together or whatever these things that she needs help with, the fact that you try makes you stand out. Show up. And number 9, this is the most important thing, is number 9. Okay, it's not the most important, but this is a very important thing. If you've been dating someone for 2 to 3 months and you really like her and you want to establish a relationship, and if you've done all these things I've just said, like you put all your cards on the table, you just opened yourself up, you made yourself available, you had consistent communication, you were thoughtful, you were kind, you were giving, you were doing all these things. But if she is hesitant to give a definitive answer, if she says something like, well, I don't know if I'm ready for a relationship yet, believe her. Take your deck of cards you just had out, put your hand of cards, pick them up, and put them in your pocket. Men of value have to love and respect themselves just as women do. And this is honestly probably one of the hardest things that anyone can do, especially when you really like someone, you really care about them, you want good things for them. When you ask, well, why did she let this go on for so long if she didn't really like me? Women, sometimes they don't know how they feel. They aren't confident in who they are. Maybe they weren't sexually attracted to you, but they could see all these valuable things that you had, and they could see how worthy you were and what a good dude you were. And because they could see these good qualities, they just kept hoping they would catch those feelings. Sometimes women will pressure each other. They'll say, hey, you got such a good dude, he treated you like a queen, and then women feel bad that they didn't feel the same way. The temptation may be to lash out, to become bitter, to feel like no woman will love you or care about you, and she totally took you for granted. Or maybe you put all your cards out for some woman who really just did you wrong, like really wrong, just treated you horribly, and there's just scarring and nastiness in your heart that just never healed. But I have to say this, when you are a person and you do the right thing and you treat someone in the best way, you are proactively learning how to love somebody and to be selfless and to be giving, and you are learning about the actions involved in loving someone. You have created a skill set for yourself. You know how to love someone. If you continue to put that energy into someone and it doesn't work out in this relationship, you try with someone else, you always put your best hand out. Then when you do meet someone who is wonderful and who is loving and who does care about you back and who is just an incredible woman, you know how to love her fully because you've been practicing. Oftentimes what happens to people is we men and women, you will love someone, you put so much energy into that, and they don't love you back, and things don't come out the way that you want them to, and so we protect ourselves. And I'm speaking from experience too. We protect ourselves and say, I'm not going to do this. I'm only going to give them this much of me. I'm not going to let them access my fullness of who I am because and we become so protective of ourselves that we don't practice the giving of loving. So then when you do meet someone who's wonderful and you give them that like tiny bit of energy, they realize, oh, they're not ready, or they don't love me. I know that this sounds very idealistic, but all of these things are all just process. And believe me, I could do many a video about things that women can do to improve these things. As women, we gotta work on ourselves too. We gotta heal from our own wounds. We gotta be willing to pour into good men in our lives. So this isn't a one-sided thing. This is just geared towards men who may feel discouraged. They don't feel like they have the same opportunities. Well, thank you so much for watching. Oh, let me put my plant. In the comment section down below, tell me about one way that you learned how to love somebody from either a past relationship, a dating experience, or if you're married, what you learned in marriage. One thing, write in the comments so we can learn from each other. Alright. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will see you on my next episode. Goodbye!